Yo, what's good? Maximus here. Alright, so this is a little bit different video. Not any mean background thing, but let me just talk to y'all about something. I just finished a consultation, and it's one of those things where they're really like, not to get all the way into their business, but I give y'all a general overview, which is basically they kind of bullshitted around and they're kind of hurting because they feel like their opportunity for that love has fallen out of their hands. Now, what I mean by that is basically, often we tend to take time for granted. We tend to assume that just because tomorrow is there, that it's promised. And sometimes you have to realize when it comes to things, especially when it comes to love, sometimes you have to take that for what it is when it is. Because there can be a time where you're counting on tomorrow and tomorrow never comes. Then you spend the next several years wishing for another yesterday, just so you can do things differently. You don't want to end up being that person. And I say all of that to say, if you have somebody that you care about deeply, somebody that you really fuck with, somebody, if you're in love, any of that, my suggestion is if you have the opportunity to do so, don't just tell them, but show them that you really do love and value them while the time is still here to do so. Because you don't want to be like my poor client here, which most I can do is talk them through it and, help them go through the process, but, they ran out of tomorrows. And sometimes when something is put in front of you, you have to recognize that it's put in front of you at that time for a reason. The universe often, whether you're religious or not, the universe often doesn't give you more than you can handle. It's just you have to find a way to adapt and make it work. And in many cases, where people fail and where people fall short is they're unwilling to make any kind of effort to make things fit so that they can adapt to the new challenges, the new whatevers that's in front of them. And because of that, they end up in a situation where they become sad, they become resentful. You understand something. I'll talk to my dating people for a minute because us daters are really good for this. When you're involved, you look outside that door and that grass is looking so green sometimes because the shit that you've been dealing with on the regular could look a little monotonous at times, can look a little whatever. People do not appreciate the value of having that security and having somebody that really has your back, that's really behind you 100%. And often until you really get a taste of how cold that world is, you tend to think, oh, nah, I'm going to be all right. I could do this and I could do that and it'll all work itself out in the end. Let me tell you something. I am here to be a teacher. I am here to guide. It is what I do on a regular basis. I am here for those purposes. I am happy and willing to help any and all who need that. And I'm not just talking about me doing consultations. Just watch my videos sometimes. You'll get a lot from that. If you need deeper help, then you can contact me, but this ain't a promotion for that. My point is that you need to realize that never take greatness for granted when you see it. Because one day that glimmer fades. And then when you look outside and you thinking, oh yeah, outside I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and whatever. You end up waking up one day a lot older, a bit more weathered, probably with a lot more emotional damage. And now you're trying to dust yourself off and find a way to have your happily ever after with even slimmer pickings to work through, because when you had it at the peak of your game, you squandered it. Don't be one of those. I see that all the time. I see people take it for granted. Don't get gas, ladies, just because you got a bunch of DMs. Let me tell you something. You got a whole bunch of people in them DMs. And I'll tell you about 0.5% of them is actually truly going to be something viable. And there's a good chance there might not be nothing viable in that inbox. Just a bunch of different versions of bullshit and future pain and anguish. If you find something that really works, sometimes it takes a little bit extra effort. Sometimes it takes sometimes it's going to be hard. Sometimes you're going to face challenges. Let me tell you, unless it's something truly toxic and hazardous, if it's just simply challenges or, oh, I don't know, and hemming and hawing for whatever reason, give this shit a chance. Try to actually work the situation. Because I'm telling you, there's a reason why you constantly hear the phrase, there's pee and shit in the dating pool. That's a very real thing. That's not something that's just being said as a popular catchphrase or a popular term. No. It's a very real thing. Anyway, I appreciate y'all for listening to me on this. I hope you take heed to what I say, because this video is very important to listen to all the way through. Take the life lessons from this. They say a truly wise person learns from the examples of others so that they don't have to go through the situation themselves in order to learn from it. Here's an opportunity to do so. The ball's in your court. Anyway, I'll holler. Peace.